Okay, so good night, and happy Sabbath. So, um, tonight, going to address a very serious and sensitive issue. Um, and this issue, some people deem as controversial in the Bible. They say that with this issue, that God, allows this to happen in the Bible. That God is for this. So, um, one of the this is one of the one of the um, many issues that people find that they claim that a God of love would not be for these things. So what is this controversial thing? Well, let me just mention what did it say? A few honorable mentions. Genocide, you know. Oh, God allows, they say, like when God tells the children of Israel to go into a certain city and destroy everything. Men, women, and children, kill them all. Slavery. They say that the Bible condones slavery. And the issue I'll discuss tonight is rape. But particularly where it says that, if a man rapes a woman, a girl, that, the way to put it is, she, the victim, has to marry him, her rapist, right? So, I'm gonna say some things that people might find shocking. So, what I'm asking you to do is, step back and step way back. Because you see, we only know this life, we only know life in 2019. We don't understand or even appreciate what it was back then. I mean, you can look at even today, if you look at life back in the 1990s versus now, right? 1990s, no cell phones was not popular, the internet was not popular, so we can't appreciate life back then. Don't understand it almost, but I grew up through the 90s, so I can have a perspective of the 80s, 90s, 2000s, and now where we are today, right? Where we can't live without the internet. Back then we lived without the internet. But now we can't live without it. And everything runs online. So, you have to really, step back and listen to what's being said and look what God wrote and understand, that, God, the same God that came and died for our sins on the cross and suffered for us on the cross is the same God that wrote these things in the Old Testament and gave his laws to Moses in the Old Testament. So, if Jesus Christ is going to come and die for us on the cross and suffer for us and come in all humility, then why would he be for rape and slavery and genocide in the Bible? So there must be an answer, because he is it was one or the other, or he's crazy. Yeah, right? Either he's a loving God or he's crazy, because he can't be both. What we believe of him in the Old Testament, that he allows rape, slavery, genocide, just three things that are controversial that people talk about in the Bible, and then he comes and dies for our sins. So, rape in the Bible. Now, the passages that talk about the specific issue, that one issue is Deuteronomy 22, chapter 22, verses 28 to 29. Okay, that's Deuteronomy chapter 22, verses 28 to 29, and it states that if man rapes a virgin who is not betrothed, meaning she's not engaged to be married, that he should pay the father 50 shekels of silver and marry the girl he raped, and he can never divorce her. Okay, so if a man back in ancient Israel, if a man raped a girl or woman that was not engaged to be married, he has to pay the father 50 shekels of silver and marry the girl, and he can never divorce her. That was the punishment, and that's where people say, that's crazy. You can't expect a girl to marry her rapist. You can't expect that. That's insane. Okay? But why that is a good law, and yes, I said it was a good law, is because of the culture back then. Okay? Back then, if you notice, it says that if a man rapes a virgin, okay, a virgin, the law is specific. It's not if a man rapes a woman, a man rapes any woman, which is what the critics say about the Bible. God allows rape. If a man rapes a woman, she is forced to marry him. Didn't say that. Okay? Matter of fact, the Bible differentiates between two types of virgins. One is engaged, it's called betrothed, to be married, and the other is not engaged. It's almost as if God is saying that a girl should be in either two states. Right? As God is saying, a girl should be there's just two types in God's eyes, right? There are two types of girls. One that's engaged to be married, one that's not engaged to be married. And they both are virgins. Does that apply to women today? Especially those who are complaining about God is pro-rape. In that even when a girl is raped, that she must marry her rapist. The Bible never said that. The Bible addresses the rape of a virgin, right? And why it does that is because a girl's virginity was everything to her back in ancient Israel. What is it today? What is virginity today to a woman? Something to be lost, something to be given away, right? Yes, still men do love virgins, by the way. Men do prefer virgins. Yeah, we do. Yeah. But women are so quick to give it up. And I'm not blaming men or women, both are evil. Yeah. Both love sex, both love fornication, both love adultery, both, love lust, right? Girls are quick to give it up, men are quick to take it, okay? But at the same time, men want to marry a virgin. Yeah, at the same time, so figure that one out. Right, so the law specifically is talking about the rape of a virgin, okay? Doesn't address the rape of a woman. Right? Doesn't mention that. Because back in ancient Israel, if a girl got married and she was not a virgin, she was killed. Does it happen today? Is a girl's virginity something that she cherishes, something that her life depends on? No, two different societies. So here is one society where the judicial system, the justice system, routinely, you know, lets rapists off the hook, right? They go to rape again. They catch them. They rape children. They rape, women, whatever. They rape boys, and the justice system slap them on the wrist and let them out. So people are looking at this society, this system, this messed up system, and they're imposing that on in ancient Israel, where in ancient Israel, men did not rape women and live. Okay? A lot of things did not happen in ancient Israel because, as you can see, right, as it is written, if a girl got married and she wasn't a virgin, the husband takes her to her father and say, hey, she's not a virgin. They examine the evidence, which was the bed sheet. Woman has a hymen. When she has sex for the first time, she normally bleeds. All right? And there's no blood, they kill her. All right? So her life depended on her keeping herself sexually pure. So then if she is raped, right, she automatically goes from, being, she automatically is put in a different class, actually, if she's raped. The man, the rapist, takes from her almost like he takes her life. He takes her like her essence. That's how much, her virginity means to her. That if he takes it, and she's not engaged to be married, right, then he has to marry her. Okay? He has to marry her. Right? It's the whole law is based on a woman's virginity, a woman's purity / her life. The weight of the law is based on that. So it is saying to a rapist, if you rape a virgin, right, you're going to have to marry her. And you know what, people? Rapists don't want to get married. Rapists want to rape. Right? Rapists don't want to pay 50 shekels of silver. Rapists don't want to have to marry somebody and not ever be able to divorce them. In this case right here is truly where there's no divorce possible. If a man raped forcefully, took a woman's virginity, not rape, that we talk about today. I'm saying? We think about this, just forcing a woman to have sex. No. That was about a woman's virginity, actually. Okay? Because in that society, rape wasn't done. In that society, girls were just virgins. It's just like today we take certain things for granted about people, right? We just assume certain things about women today. It's like that's the culture. Imagine a culture of virgins. Can you imagine that, people? Wow, I'd love to live in that culture. A culture where you see a girl and she's not married, she's a virgin, or she's engaged to be married and she's a virgin. In that culture, there was no rape. And when rape happened, and there are 3 stories in the Bible about rape, in all 3 cases, the rapist or raper, not raper, well, raper, yeah, the rapist or rapist, plural, were killed, all killed. Okay? The first instance of rape was Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, by Shechem. He was killed he and his whole family, and his whole city was destroyed by Simeon and Levi, sons of Jacob, her brothers. The second instance of rape was the in the book of Judges, it was the concubine by the Benjamites, by the Sodomites, the Benjamites, right? They were all killed. It caused a civil war. And God said, go wipe them out, right? And God delivered them to be wiped out. And then the third one was Amnon raping Tamar, his half sister, David's children, right? And he was killed 2 years after by Absalom, her brother, Tamar's brother. Okay? And if you read what Tamar said when Amnon raped her, it was like the most devastating, it's like the worst thing you could have done. She said that, her current state is worse than her first state. Now it's really bad because now he raped her, like he basically took her life, basically. You know? And now she's worse off than before. You know? When he told her to go, he pushed her away after he raped her. He hated her after he raped her, after he got what he wanted. Like every rapist, He hated her now. First he loved her, which was really just lust for her. When he got what he wanted, she was nothing to him. So he took away what was so precious to her and then just shushed her away like a dog. And Absalom killed him 2 years later. So rape was just not done in the Old Testament. It was just as though we sit here and we just say rapists get off for raping people. That is true in this society. In the Old Testament, it just was not done. Okay. So you say still though to tell a rapist that he should marry the person he rapes. Wouldn't a man just rape because you see a girl he likes, you're just going to rape her to get her? In this society, that would work. A guy would, probably rape a girl to get her because, this is a wicked society. And there are people that probably would actually think to do that. I don't know any that would verbalize that they want to do that. You know what I mean? But in this society, I can imagine somebody would do that and live. Not in ancient Israel. But you said the law is there. Yes, the law is there. Right? But it's like a law that never had to be... it's a law. The law itself is, I wouldn't say it's not, every law is, is there to tell people, exactly what's going to happen if something, if you do this. But it's there. I don't know how to put it, but it's like no man. No man is reading that law, knowing that he's going to end up marrying the girl, we're going to rape her. Okay? The law is like it's not a deterrent, it's a reminder. It's like a reminder to say, okay, a woman's virginity is for her wedding night. Right? And so if you take her virginity, you're married to her. The law is like a marriage ceremony in itself. You see what I mean? So just imagine that's the society that God gave Moses these laws, and that's the society that God envisions. God is saying that woman, your virginity, is for your wedding night. That's what He's saying. That's what the law is saying. So if you take it, whosoever takes it, you just married, and because you did it forcefully. And not gone to her father and asked her father for her, you can never divorce her. On top of that, you got to pay a fine, like a dowry. It's a wedding, right? It's a wedding. So back then, which I wish a good idea today. I have a daughter. Yeah. First the wedding thing went like this. First is a betrothal, where it's a contract. That your daughter will marry my son. There's a contract, or your son will marry my daughter. There's a contract, right? The bride and bridegroom don't live together, of course. They're betrothed. They don't live together at that point. They still remain, wherever they are. The girl normally in her father's home. The young man, maybe he's married already, or he's just, not married yet. It's bachelor, right? So the girl remained in her father's home while she's betrothed. The marriage ceremony is when she moves in with her husband. That's the marriage ceremony, right? So, when a man rapes a betrothed virgin, she is already married. So it's adultery, so he gets killed right away because the punishment for adultery was the death, instant death, right? No debating that. So when a man rapes a woman who's just a single virgin, the law is saying, you want to see her, you want to get married to her, You know, you want to get married to her, go ahead and rape her. Because if you rape her, you're married to her. But no rapist wants to get married. No rapist wants to be hitched to a woman that he can't divorce. No rapist wants to pay a fine for his action. No, what they did back in ancient Israel was they went and spoke with the father. That's what men did. So the law itself is, it's not, like I said, it's a reminder to men the importance, and women, the importance of their virginity. It's a reminder. It's a reminder to let them know, okay, this is what, God regards a woman's virtue or virginity as so important that if you forcibly take it, you're marrying her. God is saying that our virginity should only be given up in marriage. Okay? So it's not a bad law when a society lives by the laws of God. It's a law, even the law itself is a genius law. It's an ingenious law when it's carried through. But again, in today's society, people often get away with things like rape. So we in this, I'm sure that a man, if that law is brought into America today, Jamaica today, I'm sure a man would rape a virgin and get away with it. Meaning he sees a girl that he wants, rapes her, and gets her, and that's it. And there's no consequence to it. In other words, he's a rapist, so he raped to get his wife. In ancient Israel, rapists did not exist, and if they were brought to light, they were killed. It's not a rape culture. We live in a rape culture today, right? So we can't imagine. This law is just crazy to us because we see rapists getting off every day. Well, in ancient Israel, they died. You know what I'm saying? And no man, there's no record of a man in the Bible that raped to get his wife, because they just have to go and talk to the father, or that father said no, another one. No man is going to live in that society where it's a rapist next door. Like today, they could do that. The rapist next door could be gotten off, raped somebody and gotten off. We're accustomed to that. It did not happen back in ancient Israel. So I hope that this clarified the issue of God justifying or allowing rape, because he did not. Because in God's culture, women are virgins, and that meant a lot to him. Women are pure meant a lot to him. Women are virtuous meant a lot to him. So women of today, you have to understand that. We can't be running around, or you can't run around talking about, criticizing the word of God, criticizing the Bible. And the law might not apply to you at all. Okay? Because the law was for virgins. Right? It didn't say just for women. So then the question would be then, what if a man raped a woman then? If the law is applying to virgins, then what about women who are not virgins? Again, back then, or even today, the way God looks, God has not changed. The way God sees women is, if you're not a virgin, you're married, or you're divorced, or you are widowed, right? But amongst all those, the general thing is that you are not a virgin, you're married, right? You're married. And back then, being married, there's a very low chance of you being raped, of course, unless it's war, an invading army come in and take over a city. But a woman would be in her husband's home under his protection, right? So that would leave, divorced woman. No, a divorced woman would go back to her father's house or marry somebody else. So that would leave a widow, right? So then the question would be, what is a law for the rape of a widow, right? Again, that's not addressed because rapist wasn't done. But that would be a question, but God does not say that He allows for widows to be raped either. He didn't say that, right? Of course, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the law that says if a man rapes a virgin, he has to marry her or she has to marry him. So, just in conclusion, okay, the law is a good law because it highlights how God wants women to be pure and what their virginity means to him and should mean to you, to women. Today's society does not obey God's laws. They don't live according to God's laws. They don't understand God's laws. Their mind is not renewed even to read the Bible and comprehend what he's saying. They don't want to just read something and just jump on it, and attack it, and they just don't see the genius of God. That the foolishness of God is a bazillion times greater than the genius of man. God's foolishness is way beyond, way advanced above man's wisdom. So yes, it is a good law. And if we bring that law in today, just that one law in America and drop it in America or Jamaica, just that one law. And execute it as it is written, you'll find that the rapist would say, I don't want to get married, I just want to rape. So I'm going to, I guess, have to stop. Right? Yeah. But it's a good law. Yeah. And we do well to obey God's law. And if we take the laws of the Old Testament, most of them can still be put in any society today if we obey the laws, right? Of course, the ones that have to do with animal sacrifice, we don't have no need for those. But the other ones, if a society implements those laws, just think about any one of them. The craziest law that we call crazy actually is the wisdom of God telling us how we ought to live, how we ought to have an excellent society. But we think we know better than God. So, we don't stone disobedient kids. We don't beat rude kids. We don't let a thief pay back 4 times what he stole. No, we put him in a cage. We're wise. We don't kill adulterers. We don't because marriage. We don't respect marriage. So yeah, whatever. All those things are barbaric. Yeah, we know better. And proof is our society here, and we look back at God and we criticize God, and because our society, the rapists go free, so we criticize God for saying, kill the rapist or let him marry the virgin. We criticize God for that because we know a better way. Where's the better way? The rapists are going free today, so where's the better way? Have a good night. Jesus Christ is the Lord.